Everybody out there in YouTube land, how we doing today, man? This video might be a little different than what I normally do. I'm going to kind of have a heart-to-heart here. Talk about what's really important. Well, we all know the things that come out on YouTube the last couple of days really made me think a lot about that. What is it that's truly important? Forgive me with these cough drops. I've been dying with this cough lately. What's truly important? I know a lot of guys out there watch us YouTube truckers, and they see us and they go, you know, that's something I could do. That looks like a really cool job. And here on YouTube, we romanticize it, glorify it. Share our joy with our trade. But there's some factors about it that you really got to know before you make this leap into one of these trucks. Now, there are a lot of jobs in truck driving. You don't necessarily have to be an OTR driver. And don't even believe that myth that you have to go OTR before you can get a local job. That ain't true either. So mainly what I'm talking about today is OTR for you or OTR not for you? I like it. Talk about what's most important. Now, if you're single, you don't have a wife, you don't have any children, this video is probably not for you. Because I'm going to talk directly to the guys that are thinking about coming out in this job and leaving a family at home. You know, your wife and kids. Especially when you have young children. You know, I fell in love with driving trucks back in the 80s. And for those of you that haven't heard the story about the way that I ended up driving a truck for the first time, I was actually CEO of a company, and I fired a driver one morning. That didn't have anybody to carry the load. And I had a customer that was waiting on my product, and I had a truckload of it. I found that there's just no way I can make that phone call to a customer and say, I'm sorry, I failed, but I can't deliver the product as promised. Those words weren't going to fall out of my mouth. I had, it was a Saturday morning. I had 23 employees in my warehouse. And I went in and was trying to find somebody that could drive the truck after I fired that driver. Nobody had a commercial chauffeur's license. Nobody had driven one before. I wasn't going to ask somebody else to break the law for my benefit. If the law was going to have to be broke, I was going to do it. So that's how I ended up driving a truck the first time. Didn't have a license, never drove one before, but I had a customer waiting on my product, Had an 84 GMC cab over sitting there with a 53-foot flatbed loaded with my products at 13.6. So she had to get there somehow. I drove for 2 months before I ever got a license. But I fell in love with driving these trucks. If there's anything I'd rather do than anything is drive one of these trucks down the road. Well, that mirror has just got the sunlight in the wrong spot. Get rid of my mirror for a while. I'm not going to change lanes for a couple hours. And I always said that my children are grown, I'm retired, I no longer had any responsibilities, and I could do anything I wanted to do. I was going to jump on one of these trucks, drive OTR. So when you hear me say I love this job, I'm telling you, I like it. I love the lifestyle of it. I love sitting here looking out this windshield, burning miles all day. Get lost in my own thoughts. Contemplating my own reality, right? Well, let's get down to the heart to heart. This job may not be for you. We all have our reasons, but you may need to put this idea of doing this for a living on hold. I did. What is the most important thing in your life? And this is for the married folks out there with kids at home. What is the most important thing in your life? To me, 20 years ago, it was a little baby girl that I held in my hands for the first time. The day that I held her in my hands and looked down at that little baby girl, my whole world changed. It was no longer about what I want, what I need, what I desire. Because this right there, that was everything. That was the most important thing ever. And you think about, the world that you brought them into, you got to change this world. You want to make sure that they live in a good world. You may think that you have to, now you do have to provide for them, that's no doubt. A roof, a warm meal, safety, security, all those things. But what is most important for you to give that child? I remember when my son-in-law asked me right before his first child was born, he goes, so what's the secret to being a super daddy? It's actually pretty easy. So when that little baby comes into the world, they're going to look at you through these eyes and they're going to see you're Superman. And everything you do is Superman stuff. All you got to do is not screw up the image. But the big thing is to be there. Here's another example. Every Christmas you want to provide for your family and give them gifts and stuff, right? I remember one Christmas, man, I was on a quest for a Barbie Jeep. They were sold out of Barbie Jeeps in the entire state of Oklahoma. Man, I went on a quest. I'm going to make sure that little girl had her Barbie Jeep. I got it. That's not the point of this conversation. Three or 4 years later, you could have asked her what she got for Christmas 4 years ago. She couldn't remember. She didn't remember the Barbie Jeep. Tell you what she did remember. That I was there. The most important thing that you can give your children is you. And whatever it takes, you got to be there to give you. Because that's what they'll remember. They won't remember the Barbie Jeep. They won't remember the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. They won't remember the racetrack or anything else. But they will remember if you were there or not. So my advice is when you have children, from the time they're born to the day that they walk out of your house, that's where you need to be. Absolutely, that's where you need to be. You may like the idea of driving one of these trucks. I'm going to tell you there's a lot of things that you can do other than driving one of these trucks to make sure that you're there every day for that little kid, for that baby girl, for that baby boy. I was started out as an engineer and ended up being a financial consultant and contract negotiator. And one thing that in doing the career that I trained all my life for is I was always gone. I was never home. I'd be away from home for 6 weeks at a time, heading this project up here or putting this business deal together there. Corporations sent me all over the United States doing that kind of stuff. I couldn't do that and be a daddy. I could have hired somebody else to raise my daughter. But do you trust that job to do something for somebody else to do? I think not. The old deal, if you want to do something right, do it yourself. I raised my daughter as a single parent from the time she was 6 weeks old. And I was there every day. She didn't know what a babysitter was. She didn't know what daycare was. Because we just didn't do that. I dropped her off at school, and I picked her up from school. But I was there every minute. The most rewarding, blessed part of my life, is being a daddy. Before you screw up and make the wrong choices, you can climb in one of these trucks, and 20 years from now, come to the conclusion that you missed it. You weren't there. My personal view is don't do it. Whatever it takes for you to be home and be a daddy, that's what you need to be. I'll tell you what I did. I had learned how to be a stonemason back when I was in high school. I hated it. I absolutely hated laying rock, manual labor, mixing concrete and grout with my hands, sweating like a pig all day and being filthy. I hated it. Just straight, pure labor is all it was. Yeah, there's kind of an artsy side to it, and that's what I was known for, but it comes right down to it, it's just labor. Dirty, sweaty, stinky labor. It's one of those jobs that nobody else wants to do. There's always going to be a calling for somebody to get dirty and break a sweat. Here's what's really crazy about that. People, nobody else wants to do it, so they will pay you very well to do it. You know what minimum wage is for a stonemason? $65 an hour. And after you get really good at the craft and well known at the craft, you make a lot more. Now, I hated doing it. I hated that job with a passion. But I was making over $100 an hour, and I only had to work 5 hours a day to provide a life for me and my daughter in a good way. Hated it. I couldn't wait till my kid graduated high school. And when she moved out to go to college, to me that was like my day of freedom. Now I get to do whatever I want to do. The thing that I found I love to do more than anything, drive these trucks. OTR. Driving across from one side of the country to the other. I love it. But as long as I had that little girl living in my house, it wasn't about me. Well, now she's all grown up. Now I get to do whatever I want to. Money aside, anything else aside, now I get to do my dream. It's my turn. It's my time. That's why I drive a truck. I would truly rather be driving this truck down the interstate, hauling a load of freight, than just about anything else I can think of. You're holding that little baby in your hands today, and you're trying to think of what you're going to do to be able to provide a good life for them. I personally don't feel this is the choice, and I'm just being honest. lay bricks. If you have to, dig ditches. Be a roofer. Lay floors. Be a stonemason. Those are jobs that you can make over 6 figures at every year. And you may hate doing it. But the love that you have for that little baby is going to be great enough to carry you through that 20 years. There's honor in it. I asked one of my girls, she had been grown up, moved out of the house for about 5 years. And I asked her if she had a problem with me because since the day she moved out of my house, she had never asked me for a dime. I asked her, I said, you got a problem with me? You don't like me? What's the deal? She's like, oh no, Daddy, I love you to pieces. I said, it's pretty common for the girl when they grow up and they move out, or any child for that matter, they need a little help from time to time. Getting started in life. I said, you never asked me for a dime. What is it? My money's not good enough for you? You rebel or despise me so much that you wouldn't dare ask me for a helping hand? What is it? She goes, oh no, Daddy, that's not it at all. She goes, don't you remember us girls, we worked for you in the summertime. She goes, I carried rock, I mixed concrete, I mixed grout. I did all that manual labor. She goes, Daddy, what you do for a living, that's blood money. And that's what taught me that I never wanted to have to work that hard in my life to make a living. That's what drove me to do the things I did. That's the reason why I got a college education. That's the reason I took the route. That's the reason why I'm the success today. I saw what you did, Daddy. She said, if I wasn't willing to work that hard for it for myself, how in the hell am I going to ask you for it? Come here, baby girl, give me a hug. So when I tell you to do labor and let the sweat run down your back and that there's honor in it and there's freedom in it, I know what I'm talking about. So if you're already married and you got babies to raise, I personally don't feel you need to be out here in one of these trucks. That's my opinion. I know a lot of guys do it. Man, I can't imagine. The greatest blessing in your life, and you're going to miss it because you're not there. Now that being said, on the other foot, if you're not married, you don't have children to raise. It's just you. Jump your ass out here, live in one of these trucks. Just stack cash for the first 5 or 6 years of your life. Set yourself up with a paid off home. Have everything paid off in your life. Absolute financial freedom. Then fall in love and start a family. Man, that'll be the smartest thing you ever did. So there's a lot more things to consider about doing OTR than just what you like. Today, what you like might not be the most important thing. I haven't ever seen anybody else do a video on this topic. I thought it was time somebody did. Don't miss the blessings. Your day will come. If you got children and babies, choose wisely. Anyway, y'all have a great day. God bless each and every one of you.